And what really inspired me to be ordained was the plans that God has to build his church, to grow his church, and the promises that he's made to us to do that. And whenever I read scripture, I see just how central the local church is to that.
When I think about what inspired me to this point, apart from a few key role models, it's a strong sense of calling that God has been calling for me throughout my adult life. And in these last 5 years on this path to ordination, a very strong sense that this is what God's called me to do. It's been a challenge, but it's been great, and I'm really excited about getting ordained on 4th of July.
One of the things that's most inspired me to this journey to ordination are some words I read from the Methodist Church in Singapore's call to ordination, where it talks about walking with people and sharing their stories. And storytelling is really important to me, and sharing people's stories is a real privilege and a real treasure, and that's something that I'm really looking forward to doing more of.
I think what I want to do in my curacy is help other people make steps, whether they've been a Christian for 50 years, for 10 years, for 5 years, or not even for 5 minutes yet. I want to help people have a new experience of God.
It's very hard to pinpoint one thing that drives me, but maybe I can say a couple of things. It seemed like I had to go away to find out what God was calling me to. So when I lived in Vietnam, it was only then, when I was working in a very different culture, and a very different context, and quite a challenging context, that I began to get a clearer sense of the things that were important to me. And to my surprise, that seemed to lead me back to the church. Some particular words that leapt out to me some years ago and have stayed with me, words that we hear almost every week. We thank you that when you were still far off, God met you and brought you home. As I say, I have read those words hundreds and hundreds of times, but at one point they really leapt out at me, that sense of homecoming and sense of being met when you were still far off.
What I hope to get from the curacy, or what I'm going into it, the back of my mind with, is the words that Paul said to the Thessalonians, where he said that we loved you so much that we were excited not just to share the gospel of God with you, but our lives as well. And so I'm hoping that in Stoke Gifford I'll be able to share the gospel, but also be sharing my life with the people there, and us sharing our lives together.
One of the things I really want to achieve during my curacy is to help build bridges in my community, bridges between the different church congregations, bridges between the church and the community, and bridges within the community, so that we may all learn from each other and share Christ with each other.